Full program with Richard C. Hoagland. Later on in the program, Joseph Farrell will join Richard C. as we talk about gravity, anti-gravity, free energy, space exploration. Of course, you know Richard C. Hoagland is the former Space Science Museum curator, worked for CBS News during the historic Apollo missions to the moon. He has written the best-selling book, Dark Mission, heads up the EnterpriseMission.com, and also is our science advisor. And, Richard, you just heard our little happy birthday greeting to Ray Bradbury. Now we've got another one last week. Your significant other, Robin Falkov, her
That's
birthday.
Right.
Shall we? Hey, by the way, sometime tonight, I'm going to put you on the spot. Because when I was in Santa Maria at a special UFO conference last weekend, a partner of yours, whose name will go unmentioned,
Yes.
said that you were one of the greatest opera singers he has ever heard. Is this true, or was he pulling my leg?
He's slightly pulling your leg. I actually was on Columbia Records with my brothers and sisters. We had a group called The Foregone Conclusion.
You're kidding me.
No, I was at the other end of CBS, on the CBS label, simultaneous with advising Cronkite and the Space Unit and special events on going to the moon and all that. And I brought everyone together at a very famous Christmas party, which was the Christmas party celebrating the Apollo 8, lunar around the moon, incredible extravaganza. And I sang a very special song to one of the producers that I hated.
You, Richard?
In this party.
That's funny. Hey, isn't it cool to be able to wish Ray Bradbury a happy 88th?
That is so cool. And, yeah, of course he's not 88. He's 8.
He's 8.
The thing that keeps all of us young is that we're too dumb to grow up. We actually think the world can be, maneuvered into our visions, our dreams, our projections, the way it should be, and Ray is at the top of that list.
Absolutely.
And obviously, when I was growing up, I read him vociferously, and in Monuments, I give an appropriate homage to, the impact he had on me and the impressions that he left. So, happy birthday, Ray. May you have another 88 at least.
And you know what keeps you young? You just keep working. Like he said, he's doing his play, Fahrenheit 451. You just have to keep working, Richard. I think once you stop, that's when you get old.
Did you have, was it you or was it someone else? Maybe it was on Larry King. Somebody had a guest who had actually, done a professional university-level study on this, and they find that 9-to-5ers who reach retirement age 65 and go home, a lot of them have heart attacks within 2 or 3 weeks, and they die.
We had just a copy story on that a long time ago, not a guest.
Yeah, no, there's a serious study. In fact, there are many studies that show that if you're committed, you remain involved, you don't think of your job as a job, but as a profession, a career, a life choice, something that is really part of you, you're a whole lot healthier and a whole lot better than if you come home every night and say, oh, I can't stand the damn thing. And then when you quit, you have nothing in your life and you basically get bored and you die.
You wither away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
So obviously you and I are going to be around forever.
Gosh, I don't know about that, but we're going to give it our best, aren't we?
We will give it our best shot.
Hey, tonight, we've got just a few moments before the break, but give us highlights on some of these incredible things we're talking about tonight. I spent the better part of today looking at your Werner von Braun story on the EnterpriseMission.com, and I got to tell you, I was not aware of that story at all, which we'll talk about tonight.
I know. Well, you and I have done a million shows.
Yes,
well,
we
maybe
have.
not a million.
Well, but close.
And Art and I did easily over a million.
2 million.
I will say, without fear of contradiction, that I think tonight's show that we're going to do the next 4 hours and change is probably the most important show I have ever done on Coast. And the reason I say that is because apart from all the other evidence of unusual things and evidence that they've been hiding and artifacts and all that, the evidence we're going to talk about tonight and the implications of that evidence is absolutely incontrovertible. This is official NASA data. There's no question about the numbers, about the specifics. Anybody can check it. The implications of what it means have not been thought of by anybody, apparently, publicly until we figured this out. Later in the show, I'm going to read you some emails from some of the old-timers, the old rocket guys, who actually have worked on these programs, who worked on them with von Braun, who are basically confirming to me that we have figured it out, and they were sworn to secrecy never to talk about this. This is an extraordinary discovery. It's an extraordinary scandal because NASA, which picked up the cudgels from the Army and von Braun's early efforts to put a satellite into orbit, supposedly an open, public, civilian agency, kept this secret, knowing full well that they had to figure it out, otherwise we could never have gone to the moon, and we'll talk about the details of that. All the way up and down the line, people have simply turned their heads, ignored the implications of what's right in front of them, and the startling implications of what it could mean for everybody listening to my voice now, as well as every single human being on this planet. So I don't think it's hyperbole, and we'll obviously get emails at the end of the evening if people don't agree, but I don't think it's hyperbole for me to say that this may be one of the, if not the most important show that certainly you and I have ever done.
Several weeks ago, I saw what definitely happened to be my first UFOs when I was at another conference in San Jose.
And you know that Robin had a similar sighting here?
Really?
She, based on your effusive, discussion of the night vision and what you saw, went down to Tesla Tech and met up with George Gabori and Charles Osman and Bill Alec and a bunch of other guys on the roof, I guess, of the hotel. Apparently the roofs of hotels at these conferences are a great place to hang out.
Oh, yeah, they really are.
And somebody had brought a very high-tech, very expensive, like $4,000 pair of these.
That's third generation.
Third generation night vision amplification, infrared, whatever. And they're standing on the roof looking, and they're seeing all kinds of weird, amazing things in the skies over Albuquerque, the land of enchantment, going back and forth in 90-degree and zigzags and all that. And then a huge boomerang flies over the hotel, trailing other objects around it, like they're escorting it, like what was reported during the whole Phoenix incident back in 1997.
Only visible with those binoculars?
With night vision, which amplifies both starlight and the upward beams of the scattered light from the cities. But you can't see it with the naked eye. Now, we're here in really, really dark skies in the northeast part of the city. And what I'm going to try to do is to get someone in our audience, hint, hint, to loan me a beta version of these glasses so we can actually not only see some things, but maybe record them with TV. Because we've got
you can do that with the guns. And the beta version now would be a fourth generation that they're working on, which are supposed to be phenomenal.
And, of course, my thesis that they were not talking about UFOs. We're talking about the secret. The secret.
I was just going to ask you if you think what we've been looking at might be the secret program.
Did I send you a picture that one of my sources sent me a couple weeks ago?
You sent me a picture of me and Mike Berra at the San Jose thing.
No, this was a couple weeks ago.
No.
Okay, I was sent from Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines from 1972 by a master sergeant who was stationed on the base, the most astonishing, quote, color UFO picture you have ever seen, except it's not a UFO.
What is it?
It's clearly one of ours. It is a boomerang-shaped, obviously secret space program spacecraft hovering at a rakish angle over the nuclear weapons storage facility on Clark Air Force Base, and it comes to me through a very important and credible series of sources and connections.
If what we're going to talk about is accurate, and I know you believe it is.
Well, but no, you don't have to believe me. Just go Google on these orbits, and we'll explain.
Okay, you can explain that to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I want you to do, by the way, is I want you to stop me every time I get into a term that you don't understand or you think someone out there doesn't understand.
All right.
Because it's really important that everybody get this. This is incredibly significant, and I don't want anybody to miss any of the cool parts of this.
Or just do what you've always done, like Michio Kaku does, speak in terms that I understand.
And you will tell me.
And we'll be okay then.
If I don't, yes.
But I think what this does, in the case you're building, is you're backing up why there's a secret program.